Hi, everyone. Welcome. I'm Michelle Chua, and recently I was asked about teaching yoga basics for people who are interested, curious about trying yoga, but not sure how to start. So let me begin by reading a couple of definitions from two really great sources. The first one is the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, and it defines what yoga is in Sutra number 1.2. It says that the restraint of the modifications of the mind stuff is yoga. In other words, when you cease the constant fluctuations and thought patterns and belief systems, the ego talk within the mind, underneath all of that, when you connect to that pure consciousness, that practice in itself is yoga. Here's another great source called Yoga, the Spirit and Practice of Moving into Stillness. It's by Eric Schiffman. I'm going to read a paragraph from it, and it says, yoga is a way of moving into stillness in order to experience the truth of who you are. It is also a way of learning to be centered in action so that you always have the clearest perspective on what's happening and are therefore able to respond most appropriately. Yoga is not the only way of doing this, of course, but it is an excellent way. It is an ancient process designed to help you uncover and discover your true nature so you can live daily life with that new awareness. What is your true nature? Through the yogic philosophy, it's that place within you that is pure freedom, pure love, pure consciousness. So there's different ways to practice yoga. Much of what I teach is hatha yoga, which involves a lot of physical postures, conscious breathing techniques, and then we end in meditation. There are actually 8 limbs of yoga. I'll go through that in another video. Not to bombard you with too much talk right now, let's get into the practice so you can actually experience it hands-on. So have something like a yoga mat, and if you don't own one, just something that you can sit comfortably on that will give you cushion for your knees when we come down to all fours. And if you're trying to sit tall on the ground and it feels like sitting cross-legged is uncomfortable, that it makes you slouch your back, you may want to grab something like a firm pillow, a folded beach towel, a yoga block if you have one, or even a couple of thick books to elevate your pelvis on top of, so that when you try to sit with one leg in front or on top, your knees can drop more easily and it doesn't feel like you're struggling to lift up your spine. So if sitting cross-legged just does not work at all, then sit in a way that you can, even if you use a chair. So sitting, take a moment to establish the way that you're sitting so that it allows you to feel mentally alert yet relaxed at the same time. Feel the triangular base that is your pelvis and evenly disperse your weight through those 3 corners. You might even rock a little and feel your weight all on one side and the other, shifting around until you can bring your spine at center, where the weight is more evenly distributed through the pelvis. And then as you do that, press downward into your seat so that we can rebound a lift up through the center of your spine. Trace your awareness. It might help to close your eyes from the base of your spine at your tailbone. And imagine now as you take a deeper breath that you're lifting the spine up through each vertebra, allowing more space between. Feeling the natural curves of your spine, lifting up through the neck. And now feel how your skull is sitting on your spine, right where between the ears is where your skull and spine meet. And just play with that movement there. Softly turn your head side to side, just any way that explores mobility in the neck. Is anything feeling creaky or sound creaky? Any stiffness anywhere you find? Now be aware if you're starting to judge your body like, oh, that's bad. See if you can let that go and just let this be about learning more about your body, learning more about you. Just having open curiosity. And now see if you can place your skull more neutrally above your spine so that your chin is sort of parallel to the floor, where you can softly glide your chin towards the back of your throat. And envision that there's a string threading from the crown of your head, the very top center, down through the skull, down through each vertebra of your spine, and you can pull that string up towards the sky and find a little more length as you also firm down to your two sitting bones, left and right, bottom parts of your pelvis. And now as you feel those two energies of rooting down and rising up, become more aware of the way you're breathing right now naturally. Is it a shallow breath? Can you feel the breath moving in the body at all? Again, just becoming more observant, the subtleties. Now, besides your breath, begin to feel the rest of your body, like how the shoulders are, whether they're tensing up towards the neck or rounding forward or drawn back. And then start to open up the chest by releasing the shoulders a little more behind you and then pressing them downwards as you lift up through the top of your head. So you feel more space in the neck. See if that little adjustment in the shoulders allows you a deeper breath in. Feel the center of your chest rise. Feel the side walls of your ribs expand, the back ribs expand. And then through the lips, empty the breath. Very slowly. Again, inhale a little deeper, filling up your lungs and maybe even down into your belly. Feel a gentle expansion. Fill up to the very top and then take just a slow to open the mouth and exhale. Now this time I'm going to count 5 and 5. So breathe in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it in for a moment. Relax the body. Sit tall. Through the mouth, exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath out. Keep relaxing the body again. Inhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold a moment. Relax. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Keep sitting tall. One more. Inhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Feel the fullness. Whisper it out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Feel the belly gently press towards the back. And now continue to breathe in for 5 and out for 5 without holding the breath. Focus on smoothly transitioning between in-breath and out-breath and still creating a very soft whispering sound. And if you can do that by just breathing through the nose, both in and out, close the lips. Otherwise, do what you can, but keep the breath balanced and calm. And notice just in this moment of fine-tuning your breathing, do you feel any different since when you arrived sitting here? And yoga, breath is a powerful tool for shifting our energetic feelings. It can help us to feel more awake, alert, and energized, and even heated, prepared for action. Or we can use the breath to relax the nervous system, to calm down the mind, to cool down the body, to rest into stillness. Now, as we even the breath, we're relaxing the nervous system, but we're keeping a stability. We are going to start to move. And by breathing just through the nose and the mouth closed, you start to warm up the body. So you're not cooling off by breathing out through the mouth if possible. It's okay if it's not happening now. Especially if you're beginning yoga, take it whatever you can take at a time. Things will be repeated as you practice more and more. And like any new skill, repetition and showing up consistently are what's going to help you evolve and progress in your practice and truly find sustainable benefits from it. So keep breathing. Keep listening to your breathing. And we're going to come down to hands and knees, all fours. And we're going to start to connect movement to your breath. So the breath is like the pacer. So come down to hands and knees, where you set your knees on the floor right under your hips and your shins are parallel, feet are hips width apart. Set your wrists, let's say about 2 inches in front of your shoulders. That will give the torso a little more space to move around. Spread your fingers really wide, pointing the index fingers forward so they're parallel to each other. Thumbs spread flat, all the knuckles of the palms rooting down, so you're actively pressing downward. And then on your next inhalation, take a slow breath and stretch your spine from the pelvis. Lean the chest forward, and then tilt the chest up as you roll the shoulders behind you, looking up into what's called cow pose. Now, as you exhale, start to look down between your knees as you scoop the belly in towards the back, rounding the back. Drop the skull, and this is cat pose. Let's keep doing that. Inhale, stretch the lower spine forward. Tilt the chest up, broaden it, and roll the shoulders behind you and down into cow pose. Take the full exhalation to round the spine. So this is the entire breath out. The entire inhalation to stretch the spine, lift the chest again into cow pose, rolling the shoulders back and down. Exhale again, pull in the belly, dome the back. Let's take one more cycle of breath here in cat-cow. Breathe in, stretching the spine forward, all the way up, lifting the chest. Take the full exhale to round the back, drop the head, tuck the tailbone under. Now relax to a neutral spine. We're going to come into what's called a resting pose, child's pose. Bring the feet together to touch behind you. Let's separate the knees here as wide apart as needed so that you can more easily drop your pelvis all the way down to sit on your feet. And then let your forehead either rest on the floor. If that's not happening in a relaxing way, you could use your forearms or a prop like a pillow, some books, or a block to rest your head on top. And then see if you can just, again, observe the breathing. Notice if it's changed. Take a moment here to just be still and notice how the different postures, synchronizing movement and breath, affect the way you're feeling. Let's take 3 more breaths here in child's pose. Balasana is the Sanskrit word for it. So Sanskrit is the language that the yoga was created. So the names of the postures all have Sanskrit names. I'll try to give you both when I can, the English and Sanskrit. So now reach the arms forward and come back to hands and knees, all fours. We're gonna just walk the hands back so that you can tuck your toes, bend the knees a lot, and then with knees bent, the feet are apart, you're in a forward fold, feet are hips width or wider apart. Look down and see that your feet are parallel to each other by referencing your second toes to make a number 11. And with knees very bent, drop your skull, drop your spine, let it just hang loose, let the neck hang loose. You might softly shake your head a few times. Are you still consciously breathing? It can feel like you have a lot to pay attention to, especially when you take a group yoga class. You just tune into what you can focus on at the moment, and that can increase as things repeat. So bend your knees a lot and start to roll the spine slowly upright. You could walk your hands up your legs if you want some support. Breathe in as you rise up slowly, lifting your head last, coming all the way up to stand. So we did a little bit of synchronizing movement and breath. Let's come to stand at the very front of your mat in what's called mountain pose. Now, mountain pose is a very important, simple looking posture, but it's kind of the blueprint for many, if not all, the standing yoga postures. So how you stand is so important. How does that affect the way you feel? So as you separate the feet again, hips distance, the heels are right under your hips. The hips are right under your shoulders. You want to be observant how you stack the major joints in your body and how that creates more alignment in the spine, more upright and spacious. As you look at your feet, lift your toes for a moment and spread them apart. Imagine you've got cotton balls in between the toes. Now, as you actively lift the toes and spread them, notice what happens to the muscles in your feet and legs. They engage. You lift the inner and outer arches of your feet. The kneecaps start to lift. Be careful not to lock them. Fronts of the thighs feel stronger. Now keep all of that engagement and spread the toes wide onto the ground. And like we did first sitting down, rock forward slightly and feel more weight towards your toes. Rock back gently and feel more weight towards your heels. And try a few times until you can center your body to evenly disperse the weight through your toes and heels. And as you find that center point, spread your weight through the four corners of each foot, like the wheels on a car. As you press down and engage the legs, bring your hands to your rib cage. Try to hold your rib cage at the very bottom. And as the feet firm down, rooting down, lift up your rib cage and feel as though your tailbone could actively reach for the floor right between the heels. So feel that lengthening in the lower spine. Rib cage stays lifted. Now roll the shoulders behind you and then relax them down, lifting the heart without sticking out the front ribs, just neutral. Turn the palms to face forward by your sides, arms resting. Lift the chin so it's parallel to the floor. Remember that imaginary string pulling up from the top center of your head and threading down through each vertebra. Lift up through that. Feel the earth you're pressing into, and then come back to observing your breath. Inhale and exhale. As the mind engages in a soft, smooth whispering sound of your breath, you allow the mind something to steady its focus on that's right here in the present moment. As we know, the mind's tendency is to constantly wander around into what's going to happen next or what already happened. Ground your mind to your breath. So again, we're going to synchronize movement and breath as we warm up a little more in half sun salutation. And the Sanskrit word for that is Surya, Ardha, which means half, Surya Namaskar, half sun salutation. So now as you press down through your feet, take a slow inhale while raising the arms out to the sides and overhead. Relax the shoulders here. If you need to bring the hands forward, feel free. Palms touch. Then exhale, bring your hands together in front of your hearts. Standing tall. Release the arms by your sides. We're breaking it down. Next step, inhale again, raise the arms, stand tall, palms touch, shoulders relaxed. This time, bend the knees as much as needed. Now place your hands on your legs, not the knees. Shins or thighs are okay. Or hands on the floor if you can do so, not rounding the back. As you breathe in, stretch your spine forward like that string from the crown of the head is being pulled forward. As you breathe out, bow in again. You can bend the knees as much as necessary so you don't strain the back. Press down through your feet. Inhale, sweep the arms out to the sides, rise all the way up. The full breath in, palms touch. Then exhale, trace your thumbs down to your forehead, down to your heart, and release the arms. So we just did one half sun salutation. Let's do a few more in a continuous flow so you can get into the feeling of synchronizing movement, focus, and breath. Arms by your sides, take a breath in, and exhale through the nose if you can. Beginning, inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, bow forward. Press your legs to the floor. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale again, bow forward. Press down through the feet. Inhale, rise, arms reaching overhead. Palms touch. Exhale, trace your thumbs down to your heart center. Let's do two more in a row. Inhale, the arms up. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, press with the hands, lengthen halfway up. Exhale, bow forward. Root through the feet. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, the hands together at your heart. Last time, inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold again. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands together at the heart. Close your eyes, release the arms down by your sides, and just feel your body breathing here. Simply observe how you're feeling now after a few half sun salutations. Let's come down to sit again. We're going to take a simple hip opening posture. So meditation is an important way of practicing yoga because it's really where you get to sit and be with yourself. And having the body open in a certain way, these postures increase flexibility, increase strength, increase optimizing your health, digestive health, all kinds of things to help eliminate the distractions of the body and tension and stiffness so that you can be attentive to the subtler things. So let's bring the feet together to touch. And again, if you like to sit on top of something so that it's easier to open the thighs, please do that. You don't want to feel like you're struggling to sit up. And as you bring the feet together, hold on to your feet, big toes or outer feet, and press firmly again through the left and right sitting bones. Lifting up through the center of your spine, relax the shoulders slightly behind you and down, and broaden your chest, lift up to your crown. So feel how tall your spine is right now with your throat open, the chin's not closing the throat, and keeping that, start to bow from your hips just a little bit as you breathe out. Now pause here, keep pressing down through the pelvis, and continue to stretch the spine as you take a deep breath. Engage the belly slightly, and exhale, fold a little bit more. So keep going for a few more breaths, lengthening as you breathe in, folding as you breathe out, so that you only fold to the degree that you can maintain the optimal length of your spine. You don't start to tense the shoulders like this, or around the back, or close the throat. Keep that spaciousness you started with, and maybe add more. If it feels good too, you can even place the hands in front of you, press into the ground ahead, or onto props. Let's take 3 more breaths in this posture called bound angle pose. In Sanskrit, it's called Baddha Konasana. Physically, it benefits opening the sacrum, stretching the lower back, and the hips, inner thighs, outer thighs. It also provides relief, ladies, when you're experiencing menstruating cramps. Now, as you press down through the hands, begin to lift from your chest. So you try to maintain that feeling of a flat back as you breathe in to slowly lift the spine. Nice. Let's come down, setting up for what's called corpse pose. This is just a brief practice, an introduction to yoga. So extend your legs apart so your feet are about wider than hips distance. And as you sit here, just roll out your legs. Let them get really floppy. Notice if there's any tension in the feet and the ankles and the knees. Shake them out. You can even massage them out briefly. And then let your legs just be really loose and see which way they naturally fall. And then leave them there and start to lower your spine all the way to the floor. Now take your 2 thumbs and frame the left and right sides of your middle spine. Trace down the spine. to release towards your knees. Create a little more space in the lower back. Now feel the natural curves of your spine. You might shift the pelvis a little bit and evenly weigh down the left and right hips. Now turn the palms to face up and let the shoulders, left and right, easily drop down and away from your neck. Softly move your head to the right, to the left, and then find neutral. Opening your throat as you gently tilt the chin slightly back. Feel that the shoulder blades are down your back, away from your neck. And now as you close your eyes, feel the muscles in your face, like your jaw. Consciously relax your jaw, your tongue, the skin on your forehead between the eyebrows, your scalp. Tune into any part of your body that might be feeling some kind of tension. And as you imagine that space, visualize breathing into that space as you take a deep inhale. Then open your mouth and sigh it out. Again, into that space in the body. Breathe in deeply. Get as loud as you like. Open the mouth and exhale. Allow each breath out to become a little longer than the breath in for now. Just a few more conscious breaths. So that in breathing out longer than you breathe in, you focus on the feeling of release, of letting go, especially of efforts. And then you let your body soften, be still, and let go of any doing. As you close your eyes, feel the subtle weight of your eyeballs like pebbles thrown into a pond where they echo concentric circles around them. Feel those concentric circles around your eyes, expanding the feeling of relaxing, of softening, all the way out to the ends of your body. Lying to rest here, stay aware of how you feel and just breathe naturally. We're going to be lying down here for about 3 minutes, and then we'll close the practice together. Now continue to lie still and be observant of your body and natural breath. Notice how your body is feeling. Notice any emotions present, if any. Just feeling in any way that you have been affected by this yoga practice thus far. And now take a deeper inhalation. Feel where that breath might move in the body. Open the lips and exhale. A few breaths like that as you begin to rub your fingertips together, starting with small movements to wake up the body. Maybe circle the hands at the wrists, point the toes, flex the feet, roll out the ankles. And with another deep breath, stretch your arms up and overhead like you're waking up from a good nap. Just a long stretch throughout your body. Then bend your knees into your chest, draw them in with your hands. Sort of a fetal pose. And rock yourself over to your right side. Just lying on your right side. You might use your hand or arm to support your head. Just rest the head down for a moment. No rush to finish the practice. Just staying aware how you're feeling, how your body is breathing. Then pressing the ground with your hands. Gradually lift your body up so that you can sit tall again in that first position we began in, a comfortable seat. The Sanskrit word for that is Sukhasana. It literally means easy pose. So sit up tall. Just pausing a moment here to continue digesting your practice. Notice if the body feels any differently, or the mind, or the breath. Then join your palms to meet at your heart in a gesture of both union, as you connect the left and right sides of the body, masculine and feminine energy. Gesture of gratitude for taking the time out to just having an intimate practice with yourself, getting to know yourself a little better, and practicing non-judgment as you do that. Let's close together. Take a deep breath in. Let your heart center rise. Keeping the chest lifted, open the mouth and exhale. The greeting Namaste you might often hear at the beginning or end of yoga practice means something to the extent of the light in me honors the light in you, acknowledging each other with respect. Namaste.